1160. If you're joining me live, please say hello. We are live in Southwest Florida in my studio, and I am working on a knit stitch sampler project. As you can see, I've made a lot of progress since the last time I showed it to you. Let's see, we'll wait a few minutes for people to pop over from pre-chat and notifications. And I'll just keep knitting in the meantime. I am missing a couple balls of this yarn, and I hope I don't run out of yarn. They're here somewhere. I thought I put them in a good spot, you know what I mean? Even in a small space, can you believe you can still lose things? So crazy. Hi Sharon, hi Joe, good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. Hi Judy. Hi Donna, good morning. Hi Judy. Hi Judy and Gail, Chris, Angela, Valerie, good morning. Hi Cynthia. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully everybody had a nice weekend. And Monday's off to a good start. Hi Deanne. Is anybody crafting today? Did anybody do any crafting over the weekend? I've been doing a lot of crafting. I've been knitting and crocheting and drawing and dabbling in macrame this weekend and cooking. Hi Arlene and Lori and Lena, good morning. Happy Monday everybody. Welcome back to the KO show. This is episode 1160 and we're live in Southwest Florida in my studio. I am just going to finish up this row here. I can talk and do a plain purl row. That's not difficult. I don't have to count it all on my plain purl rows. The stitch pattern rows, the right sides I do. But I did that row before we went live. Sharon had a craft show this weekend. That's fun. That sounds fun. Hopefully you did well. Hopefully you sold a lot. Hi Arlene. Hi Nikki. Hi Kelly. Good morning. Hi Donna. So I don't know if you're not on my Patreon, I did do a poll this weekend or last week on my Patreon, and I'll explain in a minute. And I made it open to the public, so even if you're not one of my patrons, you can vote on this thing still. I'm going to share a link right here. So I listed a poll. I told a little story. Those of you, some of you already know this, but the place where Marlon was staying got completely destroyed in the hurricane, was under 10 feet of water, and Marlon and his buddies have been sleeping on couches in other people's homes since the hurricane, since September. And the house is going to be finished and ready to move back into in 2 months. And Marlon put down the deposit on one of the bedrooms, so he is officially going to have his own bed and his own room again, which I know that may sound really basic to some of you, but you know, it's a big deal when you don't have the smaller things too sometimes. So he's super excited to finally be back into a room. Anyway, one thing that I asked him when he was telling me all this, I said, would you like me to make you a new crochet afghan for your bed? And he's always loved crochet afghans ever since he was little. Hi Shelly, good morning. And he said yes. So we talked about colors. He said anything in the gray family would be fine. I said okay. And I said, what if I mix grays? Is that okay? He says yes, that's fine. And so I had some Malaga color pack in the grays and blacks and whites and neutrals, and I can share a link with that with you too. So it's color pack 1 from this at Hobie Yarns, and I had 2 packs of it, and I thought, you know what, at 2 packs that's roughly 1,800 yards of worsted weight yarn. If I'm going to make a big afghan, like to cover a bed, that's not going to be enough. I'm going to need twice as much. So I wanted to start the Afghan right away, and I wanted to do something in modular construction to really show off the 5 colors. So I drew up 2 sketches. I know this is a long story, right? For something so simple, it's a long story. Anyway, I drew up 2 configurations of how to make a rectangle, and I want it to be roughly the size of a queen bed, 60 by 80. Even if he were to get a full bed, it'll still be a nice big cozy Afghan. And so I wanted to do 60 by 80. And I was thinking about construction styles because construction ends up meaning more when you do work in color, right? Because you can emphasize the modular construction. So I came up with 2 ways to make a rectangle in modular construction, drew out the schematics, and I uploaded both of them to Patreon and set up a poll. So if you'd like to vote, what's surprising to me is that the one that I guessed that people were going to like is the one that is not winning at all, and the second option is winning by a landslide. Like 90% of the votes have gone to one of the construction. So if you want to follow the link that I just shared to Patreon, you're more than welcome to vote as well. Like I said, I didn't make it private for just my Patreon followers. I made it public so anybody can play this. So if you want to do that, you can. Hi, Marcia. And if you want, and then because I was afraid I was going to run out of yarn, I wanted to quickly get as much done as I could with the yarn that I had so that I had a better idea of how much more to buy, and I ended up buying 2 more color packs. But I used up the 2 that I have, and I got quite a nice size so far. So if you want, I can show you that. And I went with the second option in the poll because it's winning by 90%. I wanted to do the option 1, but I thought it was more fun to let the choice be dictated by the poll, which was fun. So would anybody like to see the partially made Afghan? Marlon hasn't seen it, and I won't show it to him until it's done. But I'll show it to you guys if you want. And yes, it will be a pattern when it comes out as well. I'm using the stitch pattern, one of the stitch patterns from Crochet Power called the Medea. It's in Crochet Power. Yeah, it's in Crochet Power. And it's a really cute stitch pattern that alternates 5 treble crochets with 1 treble crochet. So if you do 5 trebles 1, 5 trebles 1 across 1 row, when you do the return, you would do 1 treble in the center of the 5 trebles and 5 trebles in the 1 treble. So you're alternating where you place the 5 and the 1 every other row. What's interesting about that stitch pattern in Crochet Power is that I just explained to you how to vaguely or roughly do the stitch pattern even in rows. In the book Crochet Power, you get to learn how to do a stitch pattern in 4 different construction styles, including even in rows, even in rounds, increase in rows, and increase in rounds. And by having all 4 of those construction styles, you can make so many different things, including the Wren pullover. Remember the Wren pullover pattern that we're doing a crochet along on right now? That's working even in rounds to make a square and even in rows to make a triangle, and combining them together to make a garment. Well, I did the original Wren pullover in the traditional granny stitch, but you could swap out any of the stitch patterns from Crochet Power and make that as well. Isn't that interesting? So you could swap out other stitch patterns as long as you know how to do those construction styles, which you do in Crochet Power. You could swap out any of those stitch patterns as well. Oh, I'm working on another project too. So remember how I was going to make pillow covers to cover rolled up Afghans, and we're going to fortify the center by rolling them onto a partial pool noodle. It sounds ridiculous when I say it. Anyway, here's what I have so far. I did a starburst in the bottom and then did a faux cable up the sides. Isn't that pretty? And so I'm about halfway done, I want to say. So I've gotten this, I worked on this weekend, and I doubled worsted weight yarn with an 8mm hook. thought that would make it go faster. And you know what? It's going so slow for me. It feels like torture working on this one. I don't know why. I know it even sounds stupid, doesn't it? Uh, but I was feeling very antsy that it wasn't going fast enough for me this weekend. And I'll show you why I think that, because this Afghan is going lightning fast. Yeah, I love it. I like it. It looks pretty. I just haven't enjoyed working on it for some reason. Maybe it's the 8mm hook that's like maybe wearing my hands out or something. Okay, so if I could go back and redo it, I would probably skip the white, because white was the 5th color in this Malaga Color Pack 01. I think it would have been prettier in all grays and black, and skipping the white because it feels like it pops too much. However, I'm not going to unravel this much work at this point. Anyway, so what I did is I started with an increase in rounds, square, and I chose to do 5 rounds in each color. So I did 5 rounds in the first color, second color, third color, and then based on the construction style that was voted on and won on Patreon, what I decided to do was create a square and then create decreases on each side of those squares so that we could turn the square on its side. So see how the 4th color and the 5th color are done in decreases, so that now that square that looked like this is really a diamond inside a square. Does that make sense? So I'm out of yarn right now, and this is how far I got with 2 sets of the color pack. So I bought 2 more sets of the color pack because I'm making this a square, and then I'm going to add length to the 2 sides to actually make it a rectangle, then add a border around the whole thing, and maybe add some fringe, not cut fringe, but maybe like a crochet chain fringe. It adds weight to the blanket, and I just think it looks so luxurious. However, Marlon said he doesn't want the Afghan to be too heavy, so I might have to do a more plain or plainer border for his taste. But if it was for me, I would do a crochet. Oh, I'm so itchy. Sorry. I would do a crochet chain instead. Anyway, but as you can see, these colors look really pretty together, don't they? And by doing it in stripes, it really accentuates the different construction style. So this is about 2 days worth of work while working on the knit top that I'm working on, and while working on this blanket cover pillowcase, and while working on a macrame project. So you can see how fast this went. Now it is in a treble crochet base, so anytime all of your stitches are taller than a double crochet, it's going to go faster. If this was all in single crochet, it would go the slowest, and if it was all in double treble crochet, let's say, it would be faster. So by doing something completely in treble crochet, I guess is what's making it go fast. And I'm also using a 6.5mm hook, or K. Yeah, no boredom for me, right? No. And yeah, so that's with 2 packs so far, and I didn't run out of the first color, obviously. You know, the smaller sections use less yarn, but where I'm at, I ran out of color 4 and color 5, so I have to wait for the new shipment to arrive in order to finish that last triangle and then go on to the rest. Oh, that's great, Marcia. Well, as soon as it's done, I can write up the pattern. Like I said, I don't even know the yardage at this point, and I don't even know what edging I'm putting on it. But as I finish it, it will definitely be a pattern that you can use to make something, you know, and it doesn't have to be masculine either. You know, an Afghan can look more feminine or masculine or whatever mood you want based on the colors that you choose. This could be done in one color, it could be done in a self-striping yarn, or it could be done in multiple colors. And it doesn't have to be 5 colors like I'm doing it. You could do it in 2 colors or 3 colors or 10 colors. It could be a stash buster even. And all of those different options would give you a different look. So that's pretty cool too, that you can make something more than once and it can actually look different each time that you make it too. Marlon's birthday's coming up soon too. Marlon's going to be 21 this year. I can't believe it. Yes, it would be beautiful in purples and grays too. There's a color pack of this yarn. I sent you a link to the yarn already, but if you go and follow that link, one of the color packs is in purples. Let's see, which one is it? Let me open it up. It's the color pack. Which one is this? 04. Color pack 04. Look at how beautiful those are. Wouldn't that be beautiful in the Afghan as well? So the one that I have right now is this one. That's the one I'm using right now. And you notice the colors are more gray in person than they are on the computer there. And then this is the one that I'm eyeballing that I think would be so pretty too. But purple and gray would be pretty together too. Yep. You could do both sets, right? You could do one, you could combine and do 10 colors then. That would be cool too. Ah, happy birthday to Chris's baby too. 32, wow. Yeah, Marlon's is a big milestone. Yep, 21. I remember when I turned 21, I went to a bar to order a drink and I had my license. I was so excited that I had my license sitting in my lap underneath the bar. And and instead of asking me for my ID, the bartender said, "Yes, ma'am." And I was so deflated. I was like, do I look that old? At 21, I mean, that was my mentality at least. Okay, let's see, I missed something. Lori's daughter turns 30 in May. Wow. Kelly's working on a temperature blanket, a square for each month using moss and linen stitch. So fast for the first half of the month and slow for the rest of the month. Yeah, I guess it's just all in your perspective. Like I said, this can't possibly be going slow, but for some reason this one feels like it's going way slower than all the other projects I'm working on. Maybe, who knows? I have no idea why that is. I feel like an Afghan's going faster than a blanket pillowcase cover. Ah. Lori, 61, won't be carded again. I don't know. It depends. I guess it depends. Okay, and then, so I'll show you what I've been working on. Macrame. I haven't recorded any of this yet because I want to get through the first project. But as you can see, I started... is it going to show up on camera? I'm just, I guessed for how long I wanted my strings to be, so I made all of them 8 feet long. So in order to write the pattern, I have to be more decisive on lengths and things like that, so I have to be sure that I did the right amount. What if this isn't the right amount and I have to tie on? What if it's too long, too short, whatever? I need to know this before I can write a pattern or do a, come on, you coming up? Or do a tutorial video. But do you like it so far? So I decided to do handles, and you can find both the handles and the rope that I use. It's 100% cotton rope. You can find all of it in my Amazon shop. Let's see, is this my shop here? Here we go. I can open that up too. You can find everything I'm using there. So I ended up buying these bamboo handles that are like a D shape. They're not totally round. And I use the 4mm cord. So when you see the link to the cord that I bought, it comes in these really nice spools. And they're on sale for like $9 right now. And one spool is going to make more than one purse, I think. I'm pretty sure I'll get 2 purses out of the cotton rope, so that's cool. Did you want to say hi to everybody? Did you want to say hi? Maybe. Maybe. Oh, we have, did I mention that we have the part 3 for the crochet along for the wren top. Part 3 is today. Let me get the link to that too. It's going to live premiere at 10:30, so we've got a few minutes still. I'm going to share the link right here, so if you want to open that up in another browser, then you'll be ready to go when the show's over. Oh, I have one other project that I've been working on too, because all of this isn't enough, right? And I want to show it to you specifically because I don't like something about it and I'm going to redo it. So remember when we did the tutorial video for the large motif for the crochet dress? We did that as a video last week. Well, I thought that I'd use that motif to make a mandala out of it, and I do think it looks gorgeous in here. But you notice something funny? It's a little too big, right? So what I need to do, and I ran out of yarn as I was stitching it to the frame. Very close, but anyway. So what I'm going to do, this was a 10 round motif for the dress. I'm going to unravel back to 9 rounds, and then as you can see here, I did a round of single crochet and chain 7 to make a place to be able to stitch, or to be able to sew the motif to the frame. So I'm going to modify the motif and make it a little bit shorter or a little bit smaller so that it can stretch better, because as you can see, you don't want a saggy mandala. If it starts sagging now, I just think it's too much. It's too much. I prefer them to be much tighter like that, so I'm going to undo that. But isn't it going to be cute as a collection of mandalas? I'm going to do them in multiple sizes and multiple stitch patterns and then join them together. And I have a beautiful idea for making some leaves to dangle down in the fringe. I have an idea to use a stitch pattern that has falling leaves in it, but only do 1 repeat of it so they're scalloped and they just look like leaves coming down a stem. Won't that be pretty? Thanks, Esther. Thanks, Angela. Thanks, Edna. And I did not start on the canvases with the flat back crystals. I have them, but I did not start working on it yet. I haven't been inspired to draw the flower yet, because I want to sketch it in, I think I want to do a lotus, but I need to sketch it in pencil onto the canvas and then just grab the crystals and some glue. I was thinking about using, was that E3, E6000? Oh, Bjorn's typing. Sorry, guys. Happy bucket list day. Bjorn wants to sleep on the keypad. On the keyboard. You can't sleep on the keyboard, baby. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think it'll be gorgeous too. I can't even decide if I want to do all crystal, all clear crystal, or do some of the colors. All right, well, our tutorial video is coming up very soon here. We've got part 3 for the wren crochet along. So in part 1 I showed you how to make the square. In part 2 I showed you how to make the triangle, how to join them together. And today in part 3 you're going to learn how to make the waistband to turn the whole thing into a top. I will say somebody on Instagram over the weekend modified the pattern and made the bottom longer after doing the waistband. She did that as like a fitted waistband and then flared the pattern a little bit for a looser and longer top, and it turned out absolutely adorable. I don't think she tagged me in it, but somehow I saw a tag of my name. I can't decide if Bjorn looks happy or not. Are you content or no? Kind of. You sweet baby. You sweet baby. All right, you ready for the crochet along video? You gonna stay and watch it? Maybe. Or you can go sit on your bed. Just no more on the keyboard, okay? Oh, he wants to go sit on all the yarn. There you go. That's a good spot too. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed seeing all my projects that I'm working on. Loved hearing about yours too. Oh, Tammy says it's Happy Bucket List Day. That's a good day. Yes, maybe we can all try to check one box on our bucket list today. That sounds like a great idea. I don't even know if I have one. Maybe it's a good day to think about a bucket list too. I like it. Anyway, if you have the time, head on over to the tutorial video. I'll be in the live chat there as well. And there are links to download the pattern. The pattern comes in 8 sizes and can be made in any weight yarn. It's really easy. It's really fun. You could also make it a poncho if you don't like it as a top. All the links are provided in the video description. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Have a wonderful day, everybody. I'll see you over in the other video right now, and then I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.